everybody, welcome to today's Thursday's Clare's Talks about travel, and this week I'm delighted to be joined by Emma from the fantastic Star Clipper. Now it's cruising, but not in the conventional way of the massive cruise ships, so I'd like to introduce you to Emma. Hi Emma.
Hello everyone.
Hiya, and Emma's going to tell us a little bit more about her product and what makes Star Clipper different to all different cruise lines. So Emma, can you just tell me a little bit more about your product, please?
Yeah, so as you guys can see behind me here, so Star Clippers is definitely not a conventional mainstream cruise line. We visit various ports of call that you will see a lot of the mainstream cruise lines, but it's life on board that really sets us aside. So we have a fleet of 3 traditional tall sailing ships. We have 2 smaller ships that you can just see a bit more detail here, and they are Star Clipper and Star Flyer. Now, at full capacity, they take just 170 customers. With the fleet, all through our fleet, we'll have a 2-to-1 guest to crew ratio. So we're not talking huge numbers on board. You know, we're not talking the thousands. We are a very, very small cruise line. And then we have our flagship here that you can see behind me, the Royal Clipper. Now she takes 227 customers, a maximum capacity, again that 2-to-1 guest to crew ratio, and she actually holds the Guinness World Record for the largest fully rigged sailing ship in operation in the world today, which is a bit of a mouthful, but we're very proud of that. She was born, let's say, in the year 2000, and she has held that Guinness World Record. So that's really like, we're a small fleet, we're talking small numbers on board. You know, if you're a customer that loves cruising but you want to try something different, or maybe you have never cruised before but you think, you just know that the bigger cruise lines aren't for you, then it's definitely something to consider.
And it appeals to all groups as well. It appeals to honeymooners, to some families, and then to more seasoned cruisers and travellers, or somebody wanting a little bit different. So what sort of age ranges do you normally have on board typically?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely appeals to everyone. I mean, I myself can say I've not with me, but at a time I've been on board, there have been babies and children on board, and we've sold the product all the way up to customers in their 90s. So it really is, you know, absolutely for everyone. We have no, you know, boundaries on ages. I'd probably say our predominant customer age range is between 55 and 65. But the thing to stress the most is, you know, you absolutely can go on board if you wish, as long as you're able-bodied. We don't have like lifts or disability access or anything like that. So to be able to get up and down the stairs, the steps, etc., is important. But it really does speak volumes to everyone. Customers that tend to like it tend to be people that have done a rail journey holiday, anyone that's done a river cruise. I tend to think river cruising is quite similar to Star Clippers, because you've got a small vessel of, you know, within the low hundreds. You've got a great crew to take care of you. You know, you're not searching around looking for someone to help you. There will always be somebody there. Your crew will get to know you on first term basis. They'll get to know what drink you like. You know, you'll sit down at dinner on the 2nd or 3rd night and you'll almost have your gin and tonic waiting if that's what you've ordered previous nights. And that likewise for customers as well. You really get to know the other customers on board, and on many occasions have people been on board, they've made friends with other people, maybe from different countries, and they'll plan their next Star Clippers cruise to actually go at the same time. And people do make lifelong friendships. And that goes for solo travelers as well. We have, you know, different options for solo travelers, and it's not a product that they can go on and be worried about, oh my God, am I going to be okay? Am I going to get involved? You know, that kind of thing. There's always solo customers on board, and it is a phenomenally great product for that, because they can, you know, integrate and get to know other customers. And anyone that likes sailing really as a hobby or anything like that, it definitely will appeal to those type of customers.
And I understand from when we spoke before, people can get actually involved in the sailing, the rigging, and how does that all work? So it's very hands-on, yeah, isn't it?
It is, but there's absolutely no obligation whatsoever. So if you're sitting here watching this thinking, oh my gosh, I do not want to row for my dinner, or, you know, anything like that, absolutely no obligation. You know, you can get as involved or as less involved as you wish. Things that customers can do is you can climb, probably can't see very well, but you can climb up to the first crow's nest. So probably got, yeah, a picture of it or something. Yeah. So you'll be harnessed in by our dedicated sports team that we have on board all of our ships. They'll give you a harness. You'll climb up like the rope ladder up to the first crow's nest, and you can actually see a bird's eye view of the ship, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of heights, but I've done it. I can say it was an absolutely amazing experience. But it is quite high, but it's brilliant to do that. So that's the view that you'll get up there. Yeah. Which is amazing, and you know, well, I've done it while we've been sailing, and it's such a great experience. So customers can do that. We have an open bridge policy 24/7, so you can go visit our captain. It's just something you are not going to get on any other cruise line. You know, you can talk to him. He will chew your ears off. He'll tell you incredible stories. You can even steer the ship under his watchful eye, as long as we're not navigating obviously into or out of port.
Yeah.
That might be a bit boring. We do engine room tours as well. We tend to do one, maybe two throughout the sailing, so you can go down there. It's very hot, but it is extremely interesting just to see how everything works. And again, that's just something you're not going to get on large cruise lines.
Absolutely.
And things like learning how to tie sailors' knots, helping raise the sails, which our crew do by hand. You can see all of that, do all of that. But also, if you are, you know, one day you think, you know what, I just want to put my feet up, I want to lay on the sun lounge, you get a book from the library and just relax. There's absolutely no obligation whatsoever. So don't feel like you have to do it when you go on board. Yeah. But it's there as an option.
And is it quite rustic, or is it a luxurious experience on board? What are the cabins? They're all individual and all different size and layout?
So all of our cabins are ensuite cabins, and we have different cabin types depending on people's obviously necessities and budget. So they'll start from an inside cabin, which will be, as it speaks, inside, so no porthole, no window, etc. And they're obviously our lead-in cabins, and then they go up into outside cabins. So our category 6s are our inside, and then we go on to our outside cabins, category 5, 4, 3 and 2. And these will have a porthole that cannot be opened and an ensuite. And you know, our cabins, they're a good size, and you've got a twin or double bed. You'll have a small dressing area, vanity unit. You'll have mirrored wardrobes. Your suitcases will fit under the bed, so you don't need to worry about those. And then you'll also have an ensuite shower, wet room. And then we go to our more luxury cabins. So our category 1 cabins are open out actually onto public deck space. So as opposed to open onto a corridor, they'll have that deck space, which obviously can, you know, there will be other customers walking past, but it's nice. It's really nice to wake up in the morning, you know, get ready, have your breakfast. When you walk out and you're onto public deck space and you've got the sun shining on you, that is really lovely. Then we have a cabin type that's only available on our Royal Clipper, and they are our only balcony cabins. They are extremely popular. There's only 16 of them. As you can imagine, they go extremely quickly. Yeah. But they have a private veranda, which is brilliant to be able to sit out, enjoy the views while you're sailing, maybe have a, you know, a drink, a glass of Prosecco, a cocktail before dinner or after dinner. And then we have our most luxury cabin on board the ships, which are owner suites. So they obviously are top rated cabins, and they are obviously, as you can imagine, quite luxurious, and they're on certain ships they can sleep up to 4 people as well. So it's great if you've got like families or etc.
Ah, brilliant. Yeah, and it is a very, because a lot of people think it's quite rustic, but it is actually a very luxurious product. Very lush furnishings and surroundings. So
it's definitely not what you it's definitely not what you would expect of a sailing ship. You know, we're not asking 6 or 8 people to sleep in the same cabin and have no room at all. You know, the cabins are quite luxury. It's very hard to put a star rating on Star Clippers because there just is nothing else out there like us to be able to compare. But it is more of a luxury product. And like I said, you've got these expansive teak decks. You've got this really rich mahogany woods throughout the ships. You've got the royal blue colours and the golds that you'll see everywhere. So it takes us back to, you know, maybe like a century and a half ago when the ships were, you know, they were the queens of the seas. So, and it's really nostalgic to be able to go back to that sort of time. Yeah,
absolutely. And also it has all of the modern facilities on board. And am I right in thinking that you have sort of water sports or something on the back of the ship? So if people want to take some water sports.
Yeah, so water sports, yeah, so it's complimentary on board all of our sailings. Something to note that it is just port authority and weather permitting. So obviously we can't guarantee at all times, but it is available, and we do things like kayaking, canoeing, snorkeling. Customers can just grab a little snorkeling set at the beginning of their sailing, and they can have that for the duration of their 7-10 night itinerary. So the Royal Clipper has a marina platform that actually comes down at the back of the ship, and there should be a picture of it actually in the brochure to be able to share with you. So all the water sports on the Royal Clipper is done from the marina platform. Next one,
this is especially good if you've got teenagers as well.
Yeah, so just here you can see it, and so everything's done from there. And then on the two smaller ships, the Star Clipper and the Star Flyer, the sports team will actually take all of these water sports to the beach, and they'll do it from there. So there's a wealth of options. We also offer scuba diving in Asia, which is our additional charge water sports, but it's really great to be able to get involved. Like I say, if you're taking families on, teenagers, and you think this isn't a product where there's going to be kids clubs and water flumes coming down everywhere like you see on the larger cruise lines. It's just not that type of product, but there is something for customers to get involved in if they wish.
Fantastic. And what sort of itineraries? So you do Southeast Asia and the Caribbean. Can you just talk us a little bit more about the itineraries and probably the most popular itineraries that you have?
Yeah, so we're a warm weather product, so we follow the sun. So in our summer months, we have two ships based in the Mediterranean, the Royal Clipper and the Star Flyer, and they will both do sailings. So the Star Flyer does the Eastern Med and the Royal Clipper does the Western Med. So sailings in and out of Rome, in and out of Venice, in and out of Cannes, doing the French Riviera, and then sailings, absolutely beautiful. I'm very, very lucky enough to have done a few of those myself. And sailings in and out of Athens, taking in the Southern Cyclades, the Northern Cyclades, and also we've got a new sailing for this year, which has been extremely popular, the Mamma Mia, which recreates that journey taken in the Mamma Mia films. And then we actually have a ship based out in Southeast Asia all year round. So the Star Clipper, she used to go over there just for the winter months and do Thailand and Malaysia sailings, but actually we thought, why not base her out there, all the time? So instead of coming back to the Mediterranean, she actually stays out there now and does sailings around Indonesia. So 1 week she'll do eastbound, 1 week she'll do westbound, and then in, like I said, the winter months, Thailand and Malaysia. The other ships, so the Star Flyer, the Royal Clipper, that are in the Mediterranean, they will actually go over to the Caribbean, as you mentioned, for the winter months. So they'll do their ocean crossings, which again are very popular itineraries, around about November time. They'll also take in the Panama Canal sailings as well, which is very popular. People like to tick things off their bucket list. And then in and out of Barbados and in and out of St. Martin for our Caribbean itineraries, which are extremely popular.
Yeah.
Probably our most popular Mediterranean sailings are Rome to Venice, so they're 10 and 11 nights, depending on which direction you go. And yes, for next year they're very, very well sold out, if not sold out completely already. So we are more of a forward booking product, so it's definitely good to get there in early than rather than leave it to last minute. And then yes, we've got some itineraries around Southeast Asia, which we've actually introduced a couple of new itineraries for 2019 and 2020. So this year we started sailings between Kota Kinabalu in Borneo and Singapore. So these go vice versa, and it's just amazing to be able to call into these ports of call between the two destinations, and they're really a gateway to open up onto like the wealth of wildlife and all these different possibilities you can see there. And they have been really, really popular, and it's something that we are going to obviously repeat again next year. In 2020, some new itineraries for us include our sailings to and from Koh Samui in Thailand. So we've got some 7 night, 10 night and 11 night sailings, and we're actually visiting a couple of new ports of call in Cambodia. So we go to Koh Rong and Scenicville, which for us is completely new territory for us. And it just, again, like the wildlife and the temples and the culture and the food, it's just amazing. And that's where I think again that we are really on par with the likes of river cruises. You've got people that have done the Mekong, the Irrawaddy, the Ganges, that like going to those destinations. They want a small ship, they want, you know, attentive crew, great cuisine. Then it's definitely something to consider. And we also have the option for a overnight excursion that will take in Angkor Wat and see the sunrise, etc., which is capacity controlled, and there's very, very limited spaces, so I definitely advise looking into that ahead of time.
Fantastic. And you mentioned that it's an early booking product because it's such a niche product, it's only small ships. Do you have any early booking offers going forward for clients if they're thinking about booking a holiday?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely say if they're thinking of booking it, look in advance. You know, for now, even summer 2020 is selling out quite fast. We're on sale for winter 2020 into 21, and we'll probably be going on sale for summer 2021 very soon. For early booking discounts, we have them on all of our sailings. So from now until the end of January, they can take advantage of our summer early booking discounts. So for everything for summer next year, they've got until January. And for everything for winter 2020 into 21, they've got until the end of April. Discounts range between 10 and 20%, depending on the itinerary and the sailing. So like I said, it's definitely worth booking more in advance to take advantage of that early booking discount. And we can also combine it with repeat passenger discounts. So something that we offer: once you sail with us once, you will always receive a 5% repeat passenger discount in any future booking, which is combinable with that early booking discount. And then we also offer back-to-back discounts. So if your clients wish to book 2 7-night sailings, for example, they'll receive 5% off of the second week. So there are really big discounts to be had. And you know, considering that we've got over 70% repeat passenger rate, you know, customers like that, we look after them as they go forward, and they can save a good, you know, bit of money if they book in advance, if they're a repeat passenger, if they want to do 2 weeks, etc.
That's brilliant. Yeah, so definitely book early. Is there anything else that you feel that people might like to know about your product, or do you think we've covered everything off?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I say, it's definitely a niche product. It's smaller ships. It's definitely going to get that, you know, great attentive crew. You're not going to be standing on deck waiting for your deck level to be called to disembark. It's such a seamless process. We carry our own tender ships as well, so that sometimes, like you say, we can't get into specific ports of call because of the, you know, the size and the design of our ships. So we'll drop anchor and actually tender to and from the shore. They run like buses, like all day, so you can come and go as you please. And again, we have really great cuisine on board as well, and great food and wine. So just to mention, we're a full board product, so that includes breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, snacks around midnight, tea, coffee and drinking water. All there you are, so you can see some of the great dishes. So what happens actually each day is back to Alaska, is our chef will actually prep one of our main meals from that evening's menu, and he'll actually put it in our piano bar, which is an indoor bar. So it's really nice for customers to be able to go down, you know, maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or what's for dinner tonight, or, and if you're like me, it's like, well, I want that dish, I want that dish, and you want everything. And that's where we can be really flexible. You know, there's been times on board where I've said, oh, you know, I'm going to have the salmon, but I really want to try the pork chops, and then they bring out a plate of pork chops to share, and kind of have the vegetables off this dish. And, you know, because we're such a small cruise line, we can accommodate, you know, those types of, you know, dietary requirements, or if you're just like me, you just want to eat everything.
And it's a full board product, so that's your breakfast, lunch and evening meal. You don't do any drinks packages, but we've spoken before, you keep the cost of drinks on board so reasonably priced. Can you give them an indication on what they can expect to pay drink wise? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think in the last 10 years, I've got lots of fingers spared to say how many times we've had increases in drinks prices. So we do tend to keep it, you know, we don't consider them captive audience and charging through the roof. It is so reasonable. So a glass of prosecco will cost about €3.50. We'll have cocktails on board between €5.50 and €6, but we'll always have a cocktail of the day, which will be, you know, slightly cheaper. And a bottle of house wine starts from €16. Obviously then increases per the options you choose. A bottle of champagne will start at €60 and then upwards. So really reasonable prices. Yeah, no,
soft drinks are only and soft drinks are only
€1.50. Yeah, €1.80. So it's not extortionate at all.
That's fantastic. And what about gratuities and tips? Are they included in the fare, or do people need to budget for those?
Yeah, so we don't include them in the cruise fare simply because we believe in our customers going on board and actually experience the product and the service before we charge for the gratuities. And they are completely discretionary to the customer, so we leave it up to the customer. But we do have a recommendation of around about €8 per person per night.
Oh,
so they'll have two options. They'll either be able to put it onto their pre-authorized credit card at the end of the cruise, or they'll be able to leave cash and they literally just drop it in a little envelope at our purser's office on board.
Ah, brilliant. Thank you. And then I can see that you do yoga classes, and there's lots of different activities on board. So you've got all of helping sailing, you've got the activities, or you've got kicking back and doing nothing, or you've got the water sports. But so a bit of everything on a very niche product.
Very, very niche. So we offer themed cruises as well. We'll have things like yoga teachers on board. We'll have like celebrity chefs, etc. There's a small page in the brochure about our themed cruises, but you can always, it always gives you guys a call if there's any, particular theme that they're interested in that we may be able to offer. But there's definitely, I think people look at the product and sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do while I'm on board, it's such a small ship, etc. But honestly, that if you want to get involved in absolutely everything, there probably won't even be enough time to do it because you're busy. We've got a spa and gym on board the Royal Clipper, so you can go and visit that and have a little workout. We've got our excursions. You've got getting involved in the ship, you've got getting off and just going and wandering around the port, and then you've got the food and absolutely everything. So like I said, the water sports, so there honestly isn't enough time to do everything. So,
and the entertainment in the evening, quite low key?
Very low key. It's very much tasteful client participation if they wish. So we'll have things like quiz night, which is great fun. We'll have things like a fashion show where customers are encouraged to get involved and try on the clothes from the sloop shop. We'll have pirates night where the crew dress up as pirates, which is fun because obviously a lot of people look at the ships and think we're like Pirates of the Caribbean ships. We do crab racing, which is with real crabs on board the ship. But it's very low key. It's very much understated. It's take it or leave it if you wish, but it is really good fun. And that goes for dress code as well. So you probably would say like casual elegance, what you would wear to dinner if you were going with friends and family, if you're going out to a restaurant also, and then during the day shorts and t-shirts or dresses as you wish for holiday.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Emma. I really, really appreciate it. And the product that you've got is fantastic. Really, really nice. I really like it. And everybody that I speak to in the office are so helpful and friendly. So yeah, it's a really good product. So
brilliant. That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, look forward to working with you future. So if this has sparked your interest and we want to sample a Star Clipper cruise, or just give us a call in the office, 01778 338 530, or contact us through Facebook by dropping us an instant message, and we'll be sure to assist you. Okay, thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
take care.
Bye.